In 2026, the dream of food sovereignty often founders on the glut and famine cycle, an explosion of tomatoes in August followed by a barren landscape in February. To achieve a truly resilient lifestyle, we must shift to the perpetual harvest model, selecting crops that are either winter-hardy, perennial, or timed for the hunger gaps of the season. By combining these 20 crops, you transform your backyard into a biological vending machine that remains open 365 days a year. The Winter Warriors, Harvesting Deck, February. 1. Kale, the king of the winter garden. Many varieties, particularly winterbore, can survive temperatures down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. The all-year factor. In winter, the plant converts starches to sugars to prevent cells from freezing, making the leaves significantly sweeter than in summer. 2. Brussels sprouts. These are long-game plants, placed in the ground in early summer. They develop their sprouts just as the first frost hits. The all-year factor. The sprouts can stay on the stalk in the snow for months, acting as a living refrigerator until you are ready to eat. 3. Parsnips. Unlike carrots, which can rot in saturated winter soil, parsnips are nearly indestructible. The all-year factor. They require a freeze to develop flavor. You can leave them in the ground all winter and dig them up for high-calorie starch in January. 4. Mache corn salad. A nutty-flavored green that grows almost exclusively in the cold. It remains vibrant and green under a layer of snow. The all-year factor. Planting mache in late autumn ensures a fresh salad source during the months when even the toughest lettuce has withered. The spring bridge builders, harvesting marmee. 5. Asparagus. The first sign of life in the spring garden. As a perennial, it sends up spears the moment the soil thaws. The all-year factor. Once the harvest ends in June, the plant grows into a beautiful, fern-like hedge that provides shade for heat-sensitive summer crops. 6. Rhubarb. A set-it-and-forget-it perennial. It provides tart, vitamin-rich stalks in early April when most other fruits are still just blossoms. The all-year factor. It thrives in the damp, mud season of early spring, requiring almost zero maintenance or fertilizer. 7. Egyptian walking onions. These are immortal onions that produce bulbs at the top of their stalks, which eventually fall over and root themselves. The all-year factor. You can harvest green shoots in the winter, the pickling tops in summer, and the main bulbs in autumn. 8. Sorrel. A perennial green with a sharp, lemony zing. It is often the very first edible leaf to appear as the snow melts. The all-year factor. It stays productive through light frosts and high heat, bridging the gap between winter kale and summer lettuce. The summer powerhouses, harvesting June-August. 9. Zucchini. The workhorse of the summer. A single plant can produce pounds of food per week. The all-year factor. While it's a summer crop, the surplus can be shredded and frozen or dehydrated to provide a nutrient-dense base for winter soups. 10. Indeterminate tomatoes. Unlike determinate varieties that ripen all at once, indeterminate vines grow and fruit until the first hard frost. The all-year factor. By selecting varieties with different maturity dates, you can have fresh tomatoes from June until November. 11. Pole beans. Pole beans grow vertically, saving space. They produce continuously as long as you keep picking them. The all-year factor. Eat them fresh in summer or leave them on the vine to dry, providing a shelf-stable protein for the winter months. 14. Blueberries. A well-established blueberry bush is a 30-year investment. By planting early, mid, and late-season varieties, you can harvest berries for 3 full months. The autumn anchors, harvesting September, NOV. 13. Jerusalem artichokes, sunchokes. These sunflowers produce massive quantities of tubers. They are ready for harvest just as the summer garden winds down. The all-year factor. They can be left in the ground and harvested throughout the winter, providing a prebiotic starch that supports gut health. 14. Winter squash, butternut/kabocha. While they grow in summer, they aren't cured until autumn. Their thick skins make them the ultimate storage crop. The all-year factor. A single butternut squash harvested in October will stay fresh on your kitchen counter until March. 15. Garlic. Garlic is unique, planted in autumn to be harvested the following summer. The all-year factor. It spends winter developing roots and spring developing leaves. Once harvested and cured, it lasts for a full year in the pantry. 16. Leeks. The onions of the snow. They are much hardier than standard onions and can be harvested well into the late autumn and early winter. The multi-season glitch crops. 17. Swiss chard. Chard is biologically confused in the best way. It handles the heat of July as easily as the frosts of November. The all-year factor. In most temperate zones, a single chard plant can be harvested for 10 out of 12 months. 18. Radishes. Because they grow in 25 days, you can plant radishes in the gaps of every season. The all-year factor. Plant daikon types in autumn for winter storage and cherry types in spring and summer for quick snacks. 19. Collard greens. Like kale, collards are nearly indestructible. They have a waxy coating that protects them from pests in summer and ice in winter. The all-year factor. They provide a heavy green that fills the stomach better than lettuce during the colder months. 20. Hardy herbs. Sage, thyme, rosemary. These woody perennials are the flavor foundation of the year-round garden. The all-year factor. Unlike basil, these stay evergreen, allowing you to harvest fresh aromatics even when the ground is covered in snow. The strategy of the 365-day garden. Achieving a year-round harvest isn't about having a massive farm. It's about succession and selection. Microclimates. Use south-facing walls to keep autumn anchors alive longer into the frost. Season extension. A simple cold frame, a box with a glass lid, can turn winter warriors like mache into a thriving midwinter feast. Perennial foundation. At least 30% of your garden should be perennials: asparagus, rhubarb, berries. These are your insurance policies that return every year regardless of your planting schedule. By shifting your focus from the big summer harvest to the continuous yield, you ensure that your diet remains rich in live enzymes and fresh nutrients, no matter what the calendar says. In 2026, the most successful gardener isn't the one with the biggest pumpkin, but the one who never has to buy a bag of salad. This mindset transforms gardening from a once-a-season activity into a steady, living food system. Rather than relying on a single burst of produce, you build a rhythm of planting, harvesting, and replanting that keeps the soil productive and your meals vibrant. Leafy greens, herbs, and quick-growing crops can be rotated so that something fresh is always ready to pick. Over time, this continuous cycle reduces grocery trips, cuts food costs, and keeps your meals naturally flavorful and nutrient-dense throughout the entire year. This transition requires a mindset shift from gardening to resource management. By treating your growing space as a high-frequency production floor, you mitigate the risks of crop failure and pest outbreaks. A diversified, rapidly rotating garden is not just more productive, it is biologically more resilient, ensuring that your table is never empty.